Hello, my name is Mark, and welcome to Mark Thought About It. So, my name is Mark, and I am your host. What will we be talking about today? Well, Mark thought about it, and we're going to be talking fantasy football today. I'm going to be a big help to a lot of people because the title of this show is going to be called How to Save Your Fantasy Football Season Even After a Terrible Fantasy Football Draft. And those of us out here who play fantasy football and have played for a number of years know that after we get done with our fantasy football draft, we all look at our teams, we smile about it, we swear we got the best team going on, and we did well. After a couple of weeks that went past on the football season, and we thought about it and looked and said, man, my team sucks. Now we have a lot of people out there that give up on it and won't play anymore, won't follow up or whatever. If you're in a money league, you don't want to be doing such a thing. So luckily I'm here for you. By the time you get done listening to me here with these helpful hints I give you, I'm gonna take your terrible football team and at least make you a playoff contender. How about that? So the first thing that's on your side is thank goodness the NFL football season is a long one and this is just the beginning. And the way it goes is the difference between fantasy football and the real football that we see. The real NFL, they play an 18 game week schedule, 18-week schedule. But they have what's known as a bye week. Each team takes a week off throughout and it's spread out between the teams throughout the year. But when it comes to fantasy football, there's no bye week. You play for those 18 games. Those are added up. And you really need to be had your stuff together in most leagues by week 14 because that's when the playoffs start. You'll have a 2 week playoff in the first round. Those two survive. Winners survive, play the championship for 2 weeks, and that's your 18-week schedule. So, in the fantasy part of it, since it's such a young season, what we'll have you do is number one, we have to have you look at your team honestly and address what is your weakest position. When you went at it, did you go heavy after the quarterbacks? Did you go after all those good wide receivers that were out there? Notice the two positions that I didn't mention, the running back or the tight end. Even those who did do well in drafting the running back position, the season is so long that you really can't depend on the running backs that you drafted, either because of injury, and some either lose their job because of maybe they're not contributing enough. Here's where the good thing comes in. If you're paying attention to what's known as the waivers, and the waivers, for those who don't know, are the players who were not drafted, and anybody in your league can pick those persons up. The catch to it is, if you get the person early enough, they're yours. You'll have to drop somebody off your team to pick up that person that you see doing well. The problem is, if you see them on TV doing well, it's probably too late. You're going to have to get your scouting on, and at the very least, look at the waiver list and say, well, this running back got hurt. Who's next in line on his team? And you pick that person up, or you just get that inkling of a feeling to do so. And the other position that you want to do that for is the tight end position. And every year in fantasy, there's always someone who pops up that wasn't highly rated or drafted. Last year, the example would be, let's say, Miami, Devin Achane. Wasn't highly drafted, wasn't highly rated, but had a great outstanding part of the season. And then you also had the tight end from Detroit, Laporta, who didn't have higher ratings, but came out and did outstanding. And then you also had the running back Kyron Williams. So every year this happens. if you're paying attention and you're ready to make a move, meaning that you have to follow every week, by the time you do that Tuesday night at the latest, try to get someone to that Wednesday morning pickup, you can really improve your team. Get rid of some dead weight, pick up someone that'll start giving you those points that you need to succeed. So right now, we're telling you to uh, look at your roster, what you address your weakest needs, and try to go after that. Try to strengthen that. And mainly, it usually is the running back and the tight end. Okay. And another big point is what they call injured reserve, the IR. If you're playing in a league that has an IR, that means if one of your star players or someone gets injured that you want to keep, you can put them on the IR. They'll still be on your team protected, and then that'll give you another roster spot to put in another person while that person is in the IR for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, or however long. So my key to all of this is this: paying attention to the waiver list, to addressing the IR list. These are keys to improving a team that did not draft well. It's not always going to be the quarterback. It's not always going to be the wide receiver. But every good wide receiver you got that's going to give you points, there's scores of other guys out there that's got wide receivers. Wide receivers, especially in what they call PPR leagues, points per reception league, are a dime a dozen. If you get that rare occasion, um, you get that wide receiver that'll give you 40 fantasy points, 36 fantasy points. That's it. That's a rarity. Maybe happen 2 or 3 times a year from the same player. But most everybody has wide receivers addressed. If you didn't have wide receivers addressed, I don't know what you were doing. There are too many good ones out there. So the quarterback position is a must in the fact that you just don't want to be without. You need to be at least in the top 10 in the quarterback position for consistency. A year like this year, Patrick Mahomes is not playing so very well, but he was a top rated quarterback. And then you flip flop it and look at someone like Sam Darnold, who I know was not picked up by many, is having a great season. So it happens that way. But that does not mean you're going to get rid of Patrick Mahomes. So if you follow these notes that I've given you, address your waivers, address your injury reserve, and address your weak spots, it's a guarantee that before the season is done, that you will improve from a bottom ringer to the person that's up there fighting for a playoff spot. If not, going to get that championship. So with that being said, that's a quick one from me to give a shout out to a league. I play fantasy football. I love fantasy football. And I can share those thoughts out to you for those who need that type of help. So once again, this is from Mark Thought About It. I hope you like the content. I hope you give me a like and give me some support. And I'll continue to spread the goodwill out there to you. And I hope you all have a good and wonderful day. Goodbye.